Hi guys, and welcome to episode 66.23478 of Crave the Book series. Starla and Mr. Moore, her husband, have had a catastrophic event happen to their computers today, so they've been unable to A, record, and B, edit. So me and Mr. Amber Marie are stepping in to do today's episode. So give a warm welcome to my husband, Mr. Amber Marie, aka Hudson Hubson.
That was very smooth. Hello, Amber.
Well, every time I say husband, I say my Hudson.
My Hudson husband.
And it's really difficult to say without saying it. So yeah, Mr. Amber Marie, aka Scott, aka Hudson, is going to give me some quiz questions about the series.
It is a supplementary episode, this one. It was just about an hour ago. We found out about some technical issues and we sort of threw some ideas together. I have got a Crave Ultimate fan quiz to ask you. And the listeners can listen along. And
I am the ultimate fan.
I mean, you are the ultimate fan. And I have 10 passages that I'm going to read to you from the series. And you just have to tell me the book and the chapter. You get a point for the book and a point for the chapter. We did say the page number. I think that's very difficult.
Yeah, that might be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate to anybody who is listening, it'll only be from Crave, Crush, and Covet, because those are the only books I have it as a physical copy.
As a physical copy, yes. Also,
do you know what the quiz covered?
Yes, I do actually. This is what it says. A fun quiz for those who love the Crave series. Questions from Crave, Crush, Covet, and the Katmere Academy, an insider's guide. So,
okay.
You've read that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I've read them all. It's just whether the listeners have.
Okay.
So if you have not read any of those, then you may be in for a spoiler. However, I don't think that they're going to be too catastrophic because they're a quiz.
You are up to chapter 101 in the podcast. There are more than that.
There are.
Slightly more than that. I didn't want to spoil it because I think one of the questions is how many chapters are in that book, but I'm not gonna.
No!
So I didn't want to. I didn't want to tell you the answer to that one.
Okay.
But yes, I have gone through this quiz myself. I got 19%. That put me.
Did you try?
I tried to get to the end to see how the answers were given.
So it was 19% of pure luck, not 19% of how much of the universe you know.
I did answer one correctly because I knew it.
Ah.
Yeah. So yeah,
okay.
we have the fun quiz and we have some excerpts from the book for me to read. And finally, the third section will be an AMA, some questions for you that were posted on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And those handles are?
So if you are on Facebook, you want to go to Crave the Book Podcast Tea Room. Tea spelled is in the drink, or spilling gossip. And on Instagram, it is at Crave Series Aesthetic.
Okay.
And we've got a little kind of community specifically for the podcast in the tea room on the Facebook group, whereas the Instagram is just generic Instagram for the series. It's not podcast specific.
But always keep an eye out on a Tuesday because you never know what questions will be asked, and it's a good way to get involved and maybe even get your stuff read out.
Yes.
So we have a few AMA stuff already, but I think we should leave that to the very end. It gives more people time to see it.
Sure.
So which section would you like to do first? Would you like to do the Crave Ultimate Fan Quiz? Or
I think we got to go for the fan quiz because it will give me a good warm up for knowing where the passages are, and it also will make me crushingly sad that I do not know the series as well as I think I do.
Okay, I'm going to enter your name into the website. I don't know that.
Oh,
I don't know how that
impacts. It was a record for everyone to see.
In fact, I'm going to enter the name Crave the Book Podcast. Now,
So the results are going to be posted for everybody.
I think there is a shareable section at the end. So.
You should share it into the tea room at the end.
So,
is it going to tell me which Crave series character I am at the end?
No. I don't think it does. I think it just tells you how ultimate of a fan you are.
Oh,
Now,
I am the ultimatist.
You are. You are. Now, these are multiple choice. And for anybody who would like to go and do this quiz on their website, this is just a uquiz.com/quiz/questions, and then a jumble of letters and numbers. It will be the same questions I'm about to ask. I have gone through this a couple of times.
Succinct URL.
Yeah, it's not a bit.ly. Now, these questions are multiple choice, but we have decided that I'm not going to give you the multiple choice.
No,
because you are the ultimate
challenge
fan.
mode hard.
You are the ultimate fan, so you don't even need the multiple choice.
But can I phone a friend?
You get 3 multiple choice. Yeah, you get 3 phone a friends to receive some multiple choice questions. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Are you ready?
I am. I'm nervous though.
Okay. Who said, "You don't have a clue what real power is, Grace? If you did, if you knew what I could do, you wouldn't have to ask me these questions because you'd already know the answers."
Hudson.
You're going already straight in.
Hudson.
Okay. Correct.
Yeah!
Can you tell me the book that came from? Because I have that here.
I'm going to say Crush.
Nailed it. You crushed it. Hudson says
I did.
this.
I crushed that.
Question 2.
Yes.
Who raised Jackson?
That would be Delilah, his mother.
Okay. Good news is that is an option. Incorrect.
Incorrect. Was it his father, Cyrus?
The bloodletter raised Jackson.
That's bullshit.
Is it?
That's bollocks.
See, you're gonna have to
bollocks.
You're gonna have to pull this up because I can't vet this.
Rubbish.
Okay. Then maybe outcry.
I mean, she did. She was like basically a grandmother for a bit.
Okay. Right. So you have 1 correct at the moment.
God damn it. Technicality.
Okay, you're 1.5. Question 3. What colour are Macy's eyes?
Oh God.
What colour are Macy's eyes?
Green.
Good news is green is an option. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a guess.
Okay.
She can change the colour of her hair and everything, but no one ever told me what colour her eyes were.
That is incorrect.
No!
Her eyes are blue.
Blue?
Grace mentions the colour in Covert before...
Once.
Grace mentions the colour in Covert before Xavier's funeral in the beginning of the book.
I'd be interested to know how many people know this answer.
Well, every one of your listeners, because they are all Ultimate fans. They wouldn't be Ultimate fans if they didn't listen to this.
Embarrassed.
The name Katmere pays homage to, and you have to choose two options here.
2 options will be Meerkat or Hogwarts. It's a play on words from Meerkat, Katmere, because Hogwarts was a play on words from Warthog.
Okay. I have 5 options here.
Okay.
Harry Potter is one of the options. So I will say that's 1, yes.
And Lion King.
The Lion King is an option.
Okay. Well,
is that what you're
I'm
going
thinking
with?
Meerkat and Hogwarts.
Okay. Okay. That's a very good choice.
Meerkat is a Timon and Pumbaa.
I'm going to preface this, by the way. We are recording in 2 separate rooms. You can't see my screen at all.
No, I can't.
We haven't actually said that. We're 2 doors away from each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can feel you through the wall.
That is correct.
Yeah!
Tracy pays homage to Harry Potter and The Lion King. This answer can be found in the Q&A portion of the Katmere Academy, The Insider's Guide.
I'm glad that I got that one out. Correct.
But you don't know Macy's eyes?
No.
Okay. Question 5. Calder is a siren. True or false?
False.
Oh, straight in there.
False. She's a manticore.
That is correct. Calder is a manticore.
Yeah. Huh?
A Calder is a manticore.
Oh, I said, what's a manticore?
No. Calder is a
To
manticore.
be honest, still to this day, I don't really know.
Are you keeping track of this? Because unless we do the whole quiz, I don't know what your...
I mean, as long as you can tell me how many there were in total questions, I will be able to say, so far I got 2 wrong.
Okay. Oh, is that what you're getting hung up on? Is the wrongs?
Oh, well, obviously.
Okay, that's fine. Well, question 6. What is the first song by Harry Styles that is played in the Crave series?
Watermelon Sugar.
Straight in. Not even giving your listeners a chance to answer that.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
I know that. Because we have a playlist on Spotify, and it is called the Crave series songs all in order, and the first song is Harry Styles' Watermelon Sugar.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you've done a bit of research into this.
I have.
Okay. You should leave a little break, though. You should leave a little break.
And this is where I get it wrong.
That is correct.
Yes!
Grace finds Macy dancing to Watermelon Sugar in their room after her shower. Grace is also wearing a Harry Styles t-shirt from the first solo tour. Okay.
Harry Styles is a big component of these
Question
books.
7. How many chapters does Covet have?
I'm going to say...
By the way, I'm going to put this is in brackets, not including Hudson's POV and exclusive Dragon Witch Vampire Court chapters. This does not include those base chapters.
209.
See, you might need the answers here. Because this isn't something I type in, this is choosing 5.
Okay.
Can
I phone a friend for the answers?
Okay, I will give you 5 options.
Mm-hmm.
101.
No.
123.
No.
125. 161. 178. So you were quite far.
178.
You were quite far with your first guess.
178.
178.
The only reason I guessed 209 was because I feel like we're about 2/3 of the way through.
And
but then the big chapters start happening. The fat chapters.
Okay. Our survey says incorrect.
No.
You were so close with the answer. You said we are about 2/3 of the way, and you're on chapter 101.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were 2/3 of the way at 101,
it'd be 150 odd.
161.
But yeah, the chapters start getting really fat.
This is why when you do an exam, you get 1 point for working out and 1 point for the answer. You would have got 1 point for the working out.
Thank you.
That's all right.
I'm not keeping track though.
You've lost. Yeah, that was a point. Yeah, that was a question you got wrong. So.
The question I got wrong. However, if I got a point anyway, that means that.
You can have a point for working out right.
The points don't count.
The points don't matter. You can't trade them in for anything at the end. Question 8. Covet was originally named... ...
Oh.
Is this you already
Crown?
kind of know the answer?
Well, no, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, I didn't know if you were leaving a
Crown?
gap for your listeners. Crown?
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 I'm trying to think of something. What are the answers? Can I phone a friend and find out what the suggestions are? I'm hoping one is crab.
No, okay. Well, I can give you those.
Yes, I'm ready.
Court. The order got switched.
Interesting.
Crown. Cloud. It's always been Covet. Now that you have that, does that change your mind in any way?
Crown.
Sticking with Crown. That is correct. Crown was the name of the 3rd book in the series until it became Covet.
I did not know that. And yet I still managed to guess correctly.
I had no source there, so that could be made up.
The reason that I thought that was because I think when I was waiting for it to be released, I saw it on Amazon, but it had not been translated yet, and the name was Crown in another language.
That is very specific.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Question 9. Hudson has chapters from his POV at the end of every book so far. True or false? Keep in mind, this is the first 3 books.
False, because Crave wouldn't have. Maybe.
And why do you think Crave? He wouldn't have one in Crave?
Because you still don't know who it is until quite a few chapters into Crush.
Hudson does not have chapters from his POV in Crave. Jackson does.
Yay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when Jackson was all important.
This is question 10. I'm going to have to type this one.
Type it?
Yep. Finish the chapter title.
Okay.
Turns out the devil wears... ... Turns out the devil wears...
It's either Gucci or Armani. I'm thinking Armani because at no point does she think that Jackson is the devil. Where she thinks Hudson is the devil, so therefore Armani.
That is correct.
Nice!
And I spelled Armani right.
Woo! Both game points today.
Yeah. Right. We've done 10 questions there. How does that feel? Do we want to press on a few more?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling confident that I can re-establish my intensity as a fan.
Okay.
By doing more.
Okay, there are 10 more. So we're at the halfway mark.
Okay.
We can always cut some bad questions out in post. All
the ones I got wrong.
This is a weird one. I'm going to give you the 2 options here for the answers because it's a bit ambiguous.
Okay.
What did the fandom do when Jackson and Grace broke up? They cried or they celebrated?
Can it not be a bit of both? There are people that are still Team Jackson and they cried, but there are people that were firmly Team Hudson the whole time and were like, oh, thank God.
I mean, I didn't write the quiz.
Can you select both?
The answer, please choose one.
Celebrated.
What did the fandom do when Jackson and Grace broke up? You're going to say celebrated.
Celebrated.
And why?
I'm hoping that a lot of people were more Team Hudson than Team Jackson.
Is that your basis for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Correct. I have no other information. That doesn't feel like doesn't feel like a question that has a correct answer.
That was a trick question.
Yeah.
There were people that really are upset that Jackson.
See, now this question feels like it does have a correct answer.
An incorrect answer.
No, it has a correct answer. just leave a little break after I finish it. Who did Macy almost date in Crush? Who did Macy almost date in Crush? I mean, what's your first answer to that you think it might be?
Almost date.
I mean, does she date somebody else?
Well, she dates Xavier.
Okay. I mean, this is what the question says. This is what the examiner has written. Who did Macy almost date in Crush?
Is Xavier an option?
Xavier is an option.
I mean, I would put that. I mean, they dated. What is the? Yeah, I mean, how can you not be dating? Sure, Xavier.
It says correct. Macy and Xavier had a crush on each other before he died at the end of the book.
They went to the observatory. They had a date.
I mean, then
technicality.
Technicality, I guess. Well, I mean, you got it right. What do you want? More points? You want more points on top of your points? Oh, this one might be difficult. It might be difficult, it might be very easy. Question 13. Who won Heads Up during Grace's birthday party?
Heads Up?
Who won Heads Up! Exclamation mark. During Grace's birthday party?
Jackson, because you declared it's just like charades.
Okay. Jackson is an option. That's good. Correct. According to Grace, Jackson kicked everybody's ass.
I'd be interested to know when you did your quiz round, which questions you got right by fluke. Because if one of them is what colour is Macy's eyes, I'm going to be pissed.
No, the one that I got correct was the chapters and covers. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's because I had just done preparation for reading excerpts.
Okay.
For this, so because I wanted to have how many chapters were in each book in case you got the book correct. Question 14. Flint awkwardly left the room after Luca asked him out. That's flub. I flubbed. Flint awkwardly left the room after Luca asked him out. True or false?
True.
Correct. Flint tells Eden that he rambled about sports, then awkwardly left the room without saying anything. The answer can be found in the deleted scenes portion of Katmere Academy, The Insider's Guide. This is question 15. I think this one should be our last one. And then I can read some bits to you, and you have to guess the chapters. And then we can do some AMA, because we had some good questions come in.
Okay.
Question 15. Who asked Leah to find the spell to bring Hudson back? Who asked
Jackson.
Leah to find the spell to bring Hudson back?
Jackson, but he did not know she was actually going to go through with it.
I can do that. Correct. Jackson asked Leah to find the spell, but he didn't know it required a sacrifice, especially his mate. This answer can be found in Jackson's section of Katmere Academy, The Insider's Guide.
And yet when Hudson does come back, he's a right little snit.
Right, so you got 3 wrong?
Yes.
3 wrong of 15. So you had 12. Oh, but then you also had a technicality point. So that put you on.
And I think I would have had more technicality points as well.
Okay, fine.
Blood letter.
Yeah, that one's up in the air. Okay. Right, I want to know everybody's scores. You can either put it on Instagram or you can put it on Crave the Book tea rooms.
Yeah, now you've heard all the answers.
Well, no, you can play along. I don't want him to pause it at the end and now do it. Quiet you. Let me get the books ready. These are physical books. That's me flicking through the books. Right. Would you like to start with a nice, easy one?
Okay. And what have I got to do? Have I got to finish the sentence or work out which book it's from?
You just tell me which book this is from.
Okay.
And then tell me the chapter. Okay?
There's no way I can tell you the chapter. I can tell you what happens in that chapter, but not the title of the chapter.
No, not the title of the chapter, just the number.
They would never be able to do that.
I will give you a point if you can get it within 10. Because I had no idea how small these chapters were.
Yeah.
There are more chapters than pages in her books. Did you know that? Okay. I stand at the outer tarmac doors staring at the plane I'm about to get on and try my hardest not to freak the F out. It's easier said than done.
Crave, chapter 1.
That is correct. Crave, chapter 1. I thought he was going to start with an easy one. The technicality is on that one. It's not chapter 1, it's chapter 0.
Oh.
Well,
I got it within 10.
And chapter 0 is half a page. And the chapter is titled, If You're Not Living on the Edge, You're Taking Up Too Much Space. So that's correct.
Oh, I would not have got the title of chapter 2.
Told you it's easy. You're 100% at the moment.
Okay. Let's quit while we're ahead.
Okay. Excerpt number 2. This is where it steps up difficulty. Maybe I wasn't as smooth getting through those safeguards as I thought. Hutton tells me in an aside, even as he shifts to put his body in front of mine. It's a move that should piss me off. I am a gargoyle after all, and more than capable of defending myself.
Covet.
That is correct. You have to hazard a guess at chapter number. Would you like to know how many chapters are in the book?
No.
Okay.
It was 206. It was.
What?
Yeah, it was. I'm reckon it was chapter 35.
35. And I am giving you a point if you can get within 10. It was number 26. So you are 9 away, so you get a point.
Oh. Okay, I'm rolling my shoulders, cracking my knuckles. I'm getting it.
The chapter is titled, Why Can't You Be Positive?
Yep. Because blood.
I got
lol,
it.
Lol.
I got it. Okay. Excerpt number 3. Oh my god. I gasp, all but running to the window. Oh my god, how did you know? You've only mentioned them like 3 different times, he answers, sliding the window open and climbing onto the parapets before holding his hand out to me. Crave. And chapter number, please.
72.
You sounded confident with that one. 72? The correct chapter was 54. So you got a point for the book, but you don't get a point for the chapter.
God damn it, Grace. Okay.
How you feeling?
I'm confident. The books are easy. Easy.
This was a worry of mine because I feel like relationships between characters can be easily defined by the books.
Yeah, but also it's like, okay, well, when did that happen in terms of like the journey or the adventure in the book? And you have to kind of work out, okay, was it early in the book or was it midway through the book?
Yeah.
And yeah, each time I forget just how many chapters there are.
Okay.
I'm ready for the next one.
Hey, do you know what's for dinner tonight? I ask as Macy and I make our way down the dragon sconce lit hallways to the cafeteria. We both worked up a massive appetite researching mating bonds for the last 3 hours.
Crush. No. Keep going.
For the last 3 hours. Although no closer to discovering someone else whose bond had been severed or any mention of a spell to do it. I forgot to check.
Covet, and it's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday?
Yep.
I don't understand the reference. Are you trying to name the chapter?
I think that day is a Wednesday. I think I should get more points for knowing that than I do.
I see. Okay. Right. I will continue reading. I will continue reading for your ego. Whatever it is, it will be terrible. She makes a disgusted face and sighs. It's one of the bad Wednesdays. Bad Wednesdays?
Wednesday.
Question mark. The name of... Anyway, you need to tell me chapter number.
Right, chapter number. It's relatively early on in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 13.
Chapter 13. The chapter was number 3.
3? I'm within 10.
You are within 10. The name of the chapter is Keep Calm and Wingo On.
Wow, that was really early on in the book then.
Yes, it was.
Oh.
Except number 5.
How many are there of these?
I've done 10, but we can stop whenever you feel like. We can stop after 5.
Okay. I'm apprehensive.
Okay. I jump to my feet, shifting into my gargoyle form as I do, so that the vines are ripped apart by my largest stone size. But I'm way behind Simone, and I'm terrified I won't be able to catch her before she tosses the comet to a teammate and I never catch up.
Crush?
That is correct. And which chapter do you think it is?
122.
You guess 122?
I'm so nervous.
Why? It means nothing.
Your voice is springing out like they're like, I feel like I'm playing for money. Like, it's just, are you sure that's your final answer?
Your guess was 122.
Uh-huh.
The correct answer was 114. That is correct.
Yeah.
The chapter is titled "Fake It Till You Break It." What is that regarding to, by the way? Tosses a comment.
So there is a sports game called Luders, and the comet is kind of like their version of a bludger, and it vibrates and gets hotter and hotter and hotter whilst you hotly play because it's like hot potato.
Okay, I had presumed it was something like that.
Yeah, and Simone was on the opposing team.
Okay, I had thought it was something like that. Right, are you ready for number 6?
Yes.
Fantastic. I give him my very best fake smile, because that doesn't sound ominous at all. Hey, I'm just keeping it real. He leans in close. You want another tip? I didn't realise that was the first tip. I answer with a roll of my eyes.
That's so dirty, no, isn't it?
Oh, you wait till we get further in. There's some awkward reads.
That's what you said.
There are some awkward reads for a husband to read to his wife.
No, there is no awkwardness between us, baby.
What book do you think that was?
I want to say Crush.
That is correct. Which chapter do you think? You're really good at getting these chapters, by the way. So far, you've only got one wrong.
I'm going to like 68.
I eat my words. You're terrible at picking chapters. That was chapter 10.
10?
Yeah, it was very
I don't even know who said it.
This time, when he smiles, his teeth gleam white, and it's just a little sharp against...
Oh, so it's Hudson, but like literally just when he's come back.
It does not say a character's name on that page. Flint's cheeks flush a little. So maybe Flint? No?
I don't think so. I don't think that Flint would be so like venomous. It sounds like a Hudson quote where he's just finally been seen by her.
I have no knowledge on this topic. Although I'm holding the book and I literally have the page in front of me.
We'll go back a page. Like, what was the fantastic in reference?
But Flint just winks at me and says, because no one who doesn't have to be here would ever come to this class. Then we go to the next chapter. Fantastic. I give him the very best fake smile.
So it is Flint.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when he's kind of not flirting with Grace, but it sounds like he's flirting with Grace, and then Jackson gets all like, excuse me.
Excuse me, man. The name of that chapter was One Giant Pain in My Ass.
God damn it.
Would you like to carry on? We have got 4 more.
Okay.
This is number 7. Needless to say, there's no going to sleep after that. There's no doing anything except checking and rechecking my throat about 1,000 times in the next 2 hours as I wait for the last of the drugs, and what I'm hoping is some kind of bizarre hallucinogen to wear off.
So that's Crave.
And which chapter do you think? That is correct.
Chapter 65.
Chapter 65? The correct answer is chapter 38.
What? She gets bitten like... Wow.
That is about halfway through the book, a little bit after halfway.
There's only 60 chapters?
I can give you that answer. Get past acknowledgements.
I thought that was like midway through the book, but I thought that there was like 120 chapters.
I'm trying to be careful with this book because this is your nice signed book.
As opposed to the other ones.
All right. Look at me with all my riches. No, this is the one with that you got in America that's got the nice edges.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to be careful. Oh my god, there's so many Jackson chapters at the end. 65. There are 65 chapters in that book.
See, I was going on the assumption that there were 120.
Oh, so would you like a point, would you?
No, it was just more that like I thought that they were I thought Crave was the same length as the other books because it's just as fat.
Okay.
Well, on my shelf.
So far you're nailing the books. But I mean, I've read the first half of Crave. And
can I give you a percentage?
Can you give me a percentage of the book? And what I have to...
Oh, no, guys, it's like, oh, what chapter is this? Oh, it's about 54% of the way through the book.
Sure. We'll change the rules. No, actually, no. We're not going to change the rules. We're keeping the rules. The rules are in place.
We've got 3 more to do. I want a different ruling system.
Yeah, you can't change the rules.
I'm going to change the rules so that I rule that everything that I did was correct.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right. Now this is question 78%. Are you ready? This is number 8.
I hope it's a steamy one. You're very quiet.
Oh, Jackson, you didn't have to do this. I walk towards the table, feeling more than a little bit fluttery as I take in the candles and the sparkling water on ice and the flowers.
Crush. It's one of my favourite quotes in that scene.
The really beautiful flowers. They're so gorgeous. I'm glad you like them. I love them.
He runs to San Diego to get her tacos, and Hudson's in her head still, and he looks at him like, he got you meat as a present. Meat.
Sorry, you said which book?
That's Crush.
That is Crush indeed.
How many chapters in total are there in Crush?
And we'll get to the end. There are... God, I don't want to disturb these books. 125.
67.
That was chapter 42. You started so strong.
Good, do it.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. The bottom of my heart.
It's Jaxie Waxy's fault.
Are you ready?
Jackson. Jackson.
Are you ready for number 9?
Yes.
And you wanted steamy. Number 9.
I'm ready.
Hudson groans a little, arches into me, and it's my turn to take over. My turn to press kisses into his neck, his collarbone, the hollow of his throat. He smells. He smells good, so good, like sandalwood and sun and warm, inviting amber. You
invite me to do what?
I want to burrow into him and stay right here against him for as long as this moment and this world will let me.
Any more?
I mean, there's a whole book.
That is covered.
That is correct. And of the 161 chapters,
that would be 93.
93. You guessed 93, but the correct answer is 86. That's within 10.
Within 10.
That's within 10. I'll take it.
And I worked that out because we've done 101 chapters so far, and that was one of our recent episodes.
One of your recent ones, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Final one.
I definitely think that you could read steamy raunchiness.
Well, if people are interested in that,
the problem is you'd start giggling halfway through.
No. I would make sure I record.
No. I would be the epitome of professionalism.
Well, I would. If that's what people ask for, I would. That would do that. No, I would do it properly. I wouldn't laugh. It's only funny because
Grace.
Oh, Grace. No, I would only do that. I'm only laughing because you're in the party and you made me laugh. Right, you ready for the last one? You ready for the last one?
Yes.
It's okay, I tell him, stepping closer so I can put a soothing hand on his shoulder. He freezes at my touch, and I realize, like with the water, this is the first real human contact this poor man has had in more than a millennia.
That's covered.
That is correct.
152.
152? The correct answer is 161. It is the final chapter. It's the final chapter I covered. But it's within. All right, it's within 10. You got it.
Yay!
That. You got passionate at the end there.
Yeah.
So 10 questions. 10.
Do you want to know why I got passionate?
Why?
I know it's really dumb, but I couldn't work out whether that was within 10.
You can work out when they're 152.
I was like, wait, that's either 9 or 11. I can't work out. Therefore,
you're in. So
yeah,
of 10 readings, you got 10 books correctly.
Mhm.
And you got 6 chapters.
Nice.
That's not bad. That is not bad
Nice.
at all. Right, are you ready for some questions?
I am ready for my Ask Me Anythingsness.
Okay, I have your mobile phone here.
Don't look at my photos.
Oh God, you get a lot from men, don't you? You also have a lot of dick pics. They've been sent through.
It's all those eggplants.
Yeah. So I need to go to your story. If you could ask Amber anything, what would it be? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 here.
Okay.
And I will read them out. Some of these can be quick fire. Some of these can be like a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Hazel Hiddleston on Instagram.
Hi.
What is your favourite Britishism?
Britishism.
Yep.
I love how our insults can be absolutely anything and our verbs can be absolutely anything as long as the tone is right. The other British person can understand exactly what we're talking about.
Like on Friday, we went out and got absolutely batteried.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got so trolleyed last night.
Yeah. Meaning...
And yeah, you can say like, you absolute spitwad of a cockwomble. And you know that's an insult. Nobody would say that and go, oh, they clearly think I'm a diamond.
It is quite a good Britishism, depending on what it is that is being emphasized. So if you take the battery one, it's like, oh, I got absolutely batteried on Friday. But then also, I walked into the living room and absolutely batteried my foot on the coffee table.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
It's the same word, but it completely means something different.
Yeah.
Good question.
I woke up and absolutely muffined my face on the side of the door.
This is also from Hazel Hiddleston.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more about what Tracy said about what she wrote. Anxiety. It cut off in the podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm so frustrated about that. I'm so sorry for everybody that was. I'm dumb.
So
I'm dumb and I didn't charge my phone.
This is referring to when you went to Barcelona.
Yes.
The video of her Q&A can be found on your YouTube channel, and the audio is on Spotify and all other Podbean related podcasts. Mm-hmm. So yeah, would you like to elaborate?
So if anybody hasn't watched the video, my question essentially was, you write anxiety so well from the point of view of somebody who either suffers from it or has somebody close to them who suffers from it. Have you yourself experienced anxiety in order for you to be able to write it so well? Tracy did say that yes, she has done a lot of research into anxiety to be able to kind of portray it well in her books, but her wife does suffer from it, and she did kind of go into the fact that she kind of wanted to teach people not only that anxiety was something that could be surmounted, that you could climb above it and survive it, but also how to teach people who are around others who are suffering from it how to combat it and distract them from it, which is why Hudson's so good at getting Grace to do mental maths, so that it's using the other side of her brain, like her logical side of the brain. How Grace grounds herself by describing how many tiles there are in the room and those kind of things. Like how she wants to have like that tactile feeling of things underneath her feet. They were all things that Tracy had introduced to her life with her wife, who was suffering. And I think she specifically said that it was due to the aftermath of Corona and how they were kind of confined in their house for a very long time, and things just started to build in a mental health way. And that's what she kind of spoke about after the video cut off. And I'm really sad that it did, but that's essentially what she said.
That's a very good answer.
Yeah. It was like, I did a lot of research. However, I did this research because a loved one close to me suffers from it, and I wanted to learn more, not just to improve my marriage and my wife's experience of life, but also so that when I kind of give these books over as a custodian to a younger generation, they also know how to handle it in their everyday life, whether they're a sufferer or someone who is observing someone suffering it.
Okay, good question, Hazel. This one comes in also on Instagram. Britsanquist _18.
Hi!
If the book became a movie, who would you want to play Hudson and Grace?
Oof, I want someone new. I know that there was a lot of people that suggest Timothée Chalamet and that guy who was in the After series that I don't remember his name because it's a really silly name, like Eva or Ego or something. I want someone new. I feel like if they bring in other actors, such as how people want the Salvatore brothers to come in, Damon and Salvatore to be Hudson. He's like 45 and Hudson is like 20. But also, they've already had their life and as a character. They've already built their character. It would be kind of like getting Daniel Radcliffe to play any other character. He is Harry Potter. No matter how many other roles he plays, he will never have to work again because he is known as Harry Potter. But he's having fun in his acting career and doing other things that aren't taking so seriously. But I would like somebody to cast completely new actors and actresses so that they would be Grace and they would be Hudson and they've never been anybody else. I am hoping that it is someone very similar to Ian Somerhalder, who played Damon Salvatore, because there is something about the way that he just portrays watching someone being in love with his girl, not being okay with it, being very rude about it, but he still comes all out as the good guy in the end.
I think it is important for an establishing franchise to pick somebody that is unknown. That's
and the correct age. As much as, yes, you can age someone down with makeup and special effects and just acting in general, there is something about a 40-year-old playing an 18-year-old that makes me very uncomfortable, because they are going to be fawned after by a lot younger generation, and that also then puts them in a really awkward spot when it comes to like promotions and the red carpet and things like that actually they can't be the heartthrob anymore because they've kind of got to dad age.
That's very difficult to do with the Crave series though, because Crave is shot or the books themselves are shot in such a short amount of time. I mean, isn't the Crave book itself, the first one, literally 4 days?
Yes.
The books beyond that,
and by the time that's like a year.
Yeah, the books beyond that, are they... So if Crave starts on day 1, where are we at in cover? Like, are we day 100?
I would say that we've had about 8 months pass by the end of cover.
And that's 3 movies, which will take a year to film, a year to promote and get out there.
Yeah. And more so if they turn it, rather than a film, it is a TV series, it would take even longer. I feel like they need to start with somebody who is a lot younger so that they grow into the role. That does kind of bring into question the whole child actor issues, where where you watch something and you're like, when you watch Philosopher's Stone, and you watch it and just there are acting scenes that are cringy because they are child actors who don't know how to quite act yet.
I read it at a Hogwarts a history. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They just mumble the lines and it's like, sod it, that'll do.
Yeah, some of the themes in these books are from the point of view of a 100-year-old vampire, so they need to kind of have a bit more maturity than what an 18-year-old would bring to the set. So it is going to be very, very difficult to cast them. However, you can definitely get an old head on young shoulders, and maybe find an actor who is youthful in look, also has the physical qualities of what they're supposed to look like, and also are able to talk about topics that are beyond their years when it comes to torture, anxiety, sacrifice. There's a lot of themes throughout the books that are a bit more adult than an 18-year-old would necessarily be able to handle.
Okay, that was question 3. We still have 6 more to go. So
Okay.
we'll try and speed them up a little bit, unless you want to elaborate a little bit more. This one also from Brit Sandquist, 18. Are we going to find out what all the stings mean?
The strings.
The strings.
The strings. So we find out what all of the strings mean in Charm. It's like a throwaway comment in Charm, but if you read Charm, Hudson understands it immediately, what they are, and it makes a lot of sense. It is to do with her being a gargoyle and being able to make relationships with everybody in a profound way, not just I like this person. It's I am connected to this person now from forever.
Okay, this next question, I'm going to limit you to 3 answers, okay?
Okay.
This is from Rabiandy_B. Rabiandy.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly. Rabiandy B. What other fantasy series do you recommend? I'm limiting you to 3 here.
So in terms of books, I would recommend the A Court of Thorn and Roses series just for the world building. It makes me very happy to read all of those books. I also loved the what were they called? Oh no, the Northern Lights, the His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, which is now on TV, which is something that you could also read along, and the Guild series, I think they're called the Plated Prisoner series. They are really, really good series. There's a lot of things in there that if you are triggered by things that I wouldn't recommend reading, like rape. However, they are an amazing series, and I really, really enjoyed them.
This one also from Rabiandy B. What made you read the series?
Starla.
Was that literally just Starla?
Starla. So she knows that I fall into kind of reading slumps where I'll either be reading every day for a month, or then I'll not read for about 6 months. And I was in a reading slump where I had not read anything for ages. And she messaged me via a app called Marco Polo, where she gets to video message me. And she said, there's this new book. It's like Harry Potter meets like Twilight, and it's amazing. It's incredible, and I think that you should read it. They're a really quick read if you're just reading the first book. It's the second book is where it gets amazing. I really recommend that you push through the first book, and I also think that this is going to be made into a movie. She was like, it has that vibe of it's going to be big. So that's why I read Crave.
Okay, so that is it for Instagram. These questions go...
Thank you very much, by the way, for replying to us.
Yes, thank you. I know it's such short notice as well. Like, you literally put that out before we started recording.
Yes.
When it sorted the dogs out and then started. And then this one comes in from the Crave the Book Podcast tea room. I have 3 here.
Mm-hmm.
This one comes in from Caitlin Abbott. What has been your favourite episode of the podcast you've recorded? I'm only on episode 31, but so far mine has definitely been the one with your husband, just speaking, or the garlic mushroom. This is an emojis, by the way. Or the garlic, mushroom, and snail.
Oh, God, the snail. I think it's the slug.
Before you answer, thank you very much, Caitlin. I really enjoyed that episode. For those who haven't or have skipped it because it was bad, episode 28 was the first one I did. Starla had an issue, and we just sort of recorded, and I enjoy listening to that. I enjoy listening to how we talk to each other. You're my favourite person in the whole world.
We're good at interacting with each other.
You're my favourite person in the whole world.
Ah, thanks.
And, sometimes
How could I not want to be mated to my best friend?
I don't know what that means.
Well, it's okay. Everybody else does.
Good. And yeah, she says about garlic mushroom and a snail. So, elaborate.
So yeah, the garlic mushroom and the snail episode are always fun, but they're like tiny kind of anecdotes within the episodes. Can I answer 2? Can I pick 2 episodes?
Yes, I think so.
So one of my favorite episodes as an entire episode was the charm episode, and that was because we did not have to navigate around spoilers. We could literally just talk about the book, and because I loved it so much, I loved that book, it felt like I could finally offload all of the things that I had been like holding in. So that was the first one. Oh, no, I got three. The other one's really quick, and it's the Katmere's Guide. And that was because I was in Starla's basement, and we were reading on the carpet, on the floor. We were reading like little bass buds with our like feet kicking in the air. Tummy's on the floor reading the books, and then we recorded it together like side by side. And being with your best friend is the best feeling in the world, especially when you're 3,000 miles away normally. So that was another episode.
I'm also in that one.
Yeah.
I am also in that one.
We called you downstairs to do a stupid reading.
Yeah.
And then the other one was when we spoke about what would happen if humans laid eggs.
What?
Yeah, so I found a weird scientific article.
You don't need to elaborate on it. If people know, they know. Roughly what episode would that be?
Oh, I'm not sure, but we were talking about Flint and his childhood.
Okay, we're on 66 at the moment. So are we?
I'm gonna get like 40-ish.
40-ish. Okay, so you still have that to look forward to, Caitlin.
Check in the descriptions on YouTube, because I think that Starla kind of writes a little bit about them.
In the title?
Mm-hmm.
Or the description?
The description.
Okay. Well, if she's listening to them one by one, she will eventually get to them. This one comes in from Rory Pratt, also on Facebook. What was your favourite episode of the podcast to record? Well, that one's already been answered.
So yeah, the Katmere's Guide, because we were right next to each other, and
in fact, I'm gonna because there was a second question, we can go back into it. So you basically named podcasts because other than the last one you said, because you are unrestrained, you could talk about anything.
Yes.
You also did one for Court. Was that not one of your favourites?
So Court, I felt like it was way too long, a thicker book for us to get it all out in one episode. And when we had read it, we still took about a week afterwards, because Starla was so slow at reading, because she was trying to fit it in amongst everything else in her life, that actually by the time we were recording the episode, I'd kind of forgotten a lot of what had happened in the book. So it wasn't as natural and as fluid and as intuitive as the charm episode was because the charm episode we read it, and then 2 days later we recorded. So it was all very fresh in my mind.
We have one more question. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to reword it.
Okay.
This one comes from Anika Mole.
Mm-hmm.
Anika Mole.
Hi.
If you could force your husband to read any book beside the Crave series, what book would it be and why? And I'm going to reword that to, if you could force your husband to read any other book series, what book would it be and why? Because you've already made a suggestion.
I have already made a suggestion and you hated it.
Actually, you've made a few suggestions. But the one...
Yeah, so I've made you read the Gone series by Michael Grant.
Which I enjoyed. You
really enjoyed?
About 2/3 of it.
And then they started to be like a bit like the X-Men, where they started to introduce too many characters and too many powers, and then it got a bit boring.
I loved the world. I could imagine myself as a young teen reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got a bit too much. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I really liked, because there was a reduced amount of people, it was a bit more controlled, and then they just started throwing everybody in. The idea is You're under a dome. You can't keep adding people.
Yeah, no, they kept on finding new people who hadn't ever had outside contact. You're like, where did you find this person?
Yeah.
And then there was like a weird like Gaia person in a hole.
Yeah, I think that's where I hopped off.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved the Gone series. I also loved the Aragon series, but you did not agree with me on that.
Aragon had a very high barrier for entry. I found that when reading that, the author said, I'm going to use every word you've never heard of, and you either catch up or you stop reading.
Yep.
And I said, nah, you can't rewrite dragons. Dragons exist, and the world exists, and things exist. And I got like halfway through, and I couldn't bond with the protagonist. And it might get good. It might be like you say about the Crave series. It might just improve after book 2, but I found it tough.
I loved all of the books. All of the books equally. I think that mainly what I enjoyed the most was the language building. So that wouldn't have been something that you enjoyed.
Yeah. Okay, so to the question, what would you recommend that I read?
So a lot of my books are smut. And so therefore I would not enjoy asking my husband to read them, because then you would have an insight into my psyche that I would not feel comfortable.
Okay.
It's like nobody wants to know what their husband is watching on Pornhub. Nobody.
I think some people
Not one
do.
person.
I think some people do.
Yeah, but there's the shared category that you watch together, and then there's definitely the I am going to just keep clicking suggestions until I've reached my limit.
Like YouTube's recommended.
No, that's too far. Too far.
Like
too
YouTube's
far.
recommended. Okay.
I have definitely read tentacle porn.
Amber.
Yes.
Let me get back on track. The question was, what series?
This is my problem, is that a lot of them are like no-goes. There are a few series that I think that you would enjoy, but they're never like a trilogy, ever. It's always like, here's the 12th installment of the book.
Alex Rider.
So Alex Rider. I love the Alex Rider series. They just kind of spy books where he gets to solve crimes and stuff like that, but they're very childish books. Like you're reading them and you kind of feel like just it's very believable now. It's a bit cliche. It's that person is the mean person, come on, hurry up. And I also really, really enjoyed some books that would probably be a bit too feminine for you. So there's a series called the Birthmarked series, and it's about a midwife, and she finds out that she has to tattoo babies with a little combination code so that they know who the babies belong to as parents.
Okay.
And then they get excelled to the enclave where they never get to see it again, and essentially it turns into a bit of a kind of incest party because no one knows who the babies belong to, but she's the only one that is tattooing the babies, so she's the only one that knows who it belongs to who. And
interesting. I wonder how far as a story that could go.
Yeah.
Because
and then the other series I think that you'd really enjoy is Uglies. So there's Uglies, Pretties, Specials, and Extras. And it's about a society that once you become 18 and of age, you get surgery to become the perfected version of yourself. And it's the decision of like, oh, I can't wait for my surgery. And then one person rebelling against that and going, I don't want it, and running away and being considered an ugly.
Okay.
But again, it's all from the point of view of a female and protagonist, and I don't say that that's not your cup of tea, because female versus male protagonist is irrelevant. It's all very feminine themes, like being a midwife and delivering children, or like going through society thinking that you are ugly and getting surgery to fix it, kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm sure that there are other series that I'm like, oh yeah, no, they're really, really good, but a lot of them are like fairy porn.
You have a type.
Like I wouldn't recommend the A Court of Thorn and Roses series to you, because you would be like, this is all sex. Why is this necessary? And I'm like, you have to get past the sex, and you're like, I can't get past the sex because it's every other page.
The sex in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. It's burning.
Yeah.
It's burning my eyes. Especially when you get to the final books, that's when it's like, this is just porn. There's no storyline. This is just porn. And that's majority of my shelves.
Yeah, we have some lovely looking shelves. And recently, a conversation we had, one last story before we wrap this up, was you are writing a book yourself.
I am.
And very early, very, very early on. But you asked me about not necessarily love interests, but you're writing it from a male perspective, and how a female, not going to be the protagonist, but an ally, can be portrayed without being, this is the love interest.
The obvious choice
love
for
interest.
love interest. Yeah.
Love. Look at love in face. It's in my eyes. That's love.
They're gonna kiss now.
Yeah. Oh no. Maybe next book. Yeah. How do?
Like, I don't know whether they're gonna kiss yet.
Yeah.
This is, and I don't know whether anybody listening has ever written a book before, but you don't know what your characters are going to do at any point. You might have a sudden moment of inspiration for a later scene that you write down, but at no point do you have the full arc.
Yeah, so
in front of you.
The conversation was, and I suggested the Mortal Engines series. I found the book, the first book, because I've only read the first book, and don't watch the movie because it's bad. I found that the female, I'll say interest, but it isn't an interest. She's kind of like, get the fuck away from me. She comes into the scene with a big explosion, and then leaves the scene, and then she's just kind of in control. You find that she's more in control than the protagonist is, and the protagonist is just tagging along. And you said, oh, okay, I'll read that. And then you had a look online at what the book looked like, and you said, that's not pretty enough to be on my shelf.
Yeah. So that's designated Kindle book now.
That is quite literally, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, as much as you could say, like, oh yeah, but it's like a steampunky theme. Like, I don't mind. Steampunky is like absolutely fine. They are really ugly books.
Yeah, it's steampunky, and if you've never even seen it, I mean, you may never, but it's about a sort of dystopian future where cities have evolved and now move. So it's from the perspective of London, and London is one of the giants, and it just it drives around on treads and just eats other small places. So like there's like a chase scene where London is chasing like a small hamlet, and everyone in London is like, oh, we're eating tonight because the London eats this little hamlet, and it means that it can start to dissect all the parts that make it up. So all the trees get reused, all the gears and cogs and like treads for repair.
What happens to the people? Do they
become slaves?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the people become slaves.
I see.
I
see.
Unless they're useful. It basically takes their history. So if they've got any museums or libraries, they get to, their libraries expand. London's library expands. And it's such an interesting world. And there's just a no man's land where there are no cities and towns. And I love that as a world. I've really wanted more about the world.
It sounds like a cool. I think I've watched the movie and I wasn't impressed. So
yeah, but don't watch
that's never a reason for me to not want to read a book. It's more of a, I didn't think that I would be interested in the book. There was another thing that I brought up when I was talking about my world building, and I was saying I wish sometimes that Hunger Games wasn't so prominent in society, because it means that a girl can never hold a bow and arrow without that being her thing.
I think your actual quote was, I wish Hunger Games wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
You came down and said, you're
like,
I
wanted my character to be able to wield a bow and arrow and not yet be perceived as she's clearly gonna be a Legolas of this movie. It's like, no, she can just have it as a weapon to keep herself safe or bring herself food. She might be really crap at it, but now she can't have a bow and arrow because it's too cliche, it's too overdone. So yeah, and those are the other books that you've already read them. Like that's some of the issues is that some of my favorite books you have already read.
Yeah.
So Harry Potter,
incredible
the Hunger
series.
Games.
I know it's so cliche to say Harry Potter is a good series. It's an incredible series.
It's a really good world build.
It's long enough to get involved and relate to the characters and find a character that most relates to you, and it proper gives you an emotional roller coaster. It's so good. So good.
Also, some of my favoritist storylines ever have just been our D&D sessions, and that sounds really sad.
Yeah.
Because like, that's not a true book. It's not a novel that you can read, but the playing with friends and just the funny things that happen just naturally because you're playing with funny people.
I think
those make the best storylines.
I think the value there is that you're basically writing a story together. We play D&D quite a lot, and I've DM'd quite a bit, and it's never players versus Dungeon Master. It's we are writing a story together.
Yes.
I am the world. How you interact with the world changes, and I want to lean into that. And it makes such good stories, and like sometimes we're still talking about things 2 years after a session. Like when we came to the very end of our Curse of Strahd campaign, normally we play online because of COVID and everything. It was a way to socialize with our friends, but our finale was in our living room, and I had built parts of the castle, and we went for like 11 a.m. until 3 a.m. A few breaks in there, but
yeah, it was a really good session.
It was a marathon,
and I think that like those are just like the greatest stories.
Yeah,
because it's a story that you played a part in.
Yeah, and you died.
I did die.
Your character died, but you were still invested. And
yeah,
and as a DM, it's not you didn't die. You became a pivot in the story. So from my point of view, the battle changes. It becomes the swivel point. It's the big finale. You're meant to have the big endings, people dying. I mean, it happens in Harry Potter. Spoilers. Harry dies.
He does.
Anyway, this sounds boring. It sounds like we're rambling, and we've been going for well over an hour now.
But yeah, those are my answers to the questions. Is that the books that I would recommend he has already read, but if I could recommend them, I would need to be in front of my shelves, remembering whether they had filthy things inside them or not.
The correct answer to would you recommend a book series? The best book series is our D&D sessions.
Yes.
So,
or my book. I also think that Scott should read Starla's book, The Channel. That doesn't have any filthy things in it.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay.
And it's like a cybernetic kind of dystopian, like engineering-y world.
You have
that you'd enjoy.
You have
like a Rubik's Cube.
You have 20 seconds to tell me The Channel and what I should like about it. Go.
So The Channel, it starts off and it's very cliche. You start off and you read the chapters and you're like, ugh, just like, yeah, she's landed her job and blah 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 blah. She's dating the boss's daughter, like son, blah 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 blah. Turns out all of that irrelevant. She gets thrown into this world that is completely different to anything else you've ever experienced. It's not like you've thrown into a fantasy world where there are trees and animals you've never heard of. No, she's thrown into just this like Tron-like cybernetic Rubik's Cube.
That was the longest 20 seconds.
There was many seconds in there where I did say nothing.
Okay, so you're only taking audible seconds.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Word blindness is a thing.
Okay, and that can be found on Amazon.
Yes,
if you're interested in Starla's book, it can be found on Amazon on Kindle and physical copy.
And I'm pretty sure if you post it in the tea room asking for a signed copy, she will be more than happy to send you one.
Excellent. Right, do you want to wrap this up?
Yes. So next week should be back to our regularly scheduled covert books where we read, I think it's chapters 101 to 106.
Correct.
I think I read today. So Starla should be back for then, and that will be just after Christmas. I think it's the 27th of December. And then until then, we've got to say goodbye.
Well, it's been...
Bye-bye.
Oh, you didn't know? I didn't get the build up.
Ready? Do you want it? One.
Hold on.
Two.
Hold on. It's been a pleasure to record with you. I love being on these podcasts. If you ever...
I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, I'll see you in a minute when we go get dinner. But I love recording these podcasts, and I love hearing people enjoying it. That's the first time I've seen someone comment about the one I was on, unless I go and look at the YouTube video.
Which you do every day. It's your wake up. It's your alarm clock.
It is my home screen when I turn my browser on. It fills me with happy. But yeah, thank you for having me on.
Maybe we should start our own podcast.
What would it be about?
The Westwoods.
The Westwoods. We'll think about that. Okay. So big finale.
Yeah. Ready?
Bye-bye.